Hello, hello, Sacred CEOs. I am Meg Spacilli, as you well know. I have a special guest with me today, Renee Davis. I'm super excited. Renee and I have been talking back and forth. She's done a few of my activations and readings and things like that. And so she's just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I wanted to have her on the podcast. So, hi, Renee. How are you?
Hello, my love. Thank you so much for having me here. I am fabulous. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I'm always fantastic, especially talking to you. So tell us what you do and who are you and what do you do and all the things.
Yeah, like all the things. So I'm Renee Davis and I'm a belief activation mentor. So I help busy professionals activate their next level self so then that way they can create more success, more wealth, more joy and confidence in their life. I'm a mum as well. I have three children. Um, they're getting into the teenage years. So life is shifting a bit there. And I spent a lot of time, working on myself, working in my business, and pretty much being present for my kids. I have removed so much off my plate because I was wearing busy like a badge of honor. So life flows so much more now. So I don't do a lot of things. I just do a couple of things and I focus all my energy on that.
Yeah, beautiful. Yay. Okay, cool. So for someone meeting you for the first time, how would you describe the work you do beyond business activation mentor? For the people that don't know what business activation mentor is, let us have it.
Fabulous. So, what it is I do beyond being a belief activation mentor is I use my lived experience. I lived through a lot of stuff through my life, and I use my lived experience and the tools that I've learned over the years and how to best navigate life using those tools. But I also use quantum healing. So, with the quantum healing, I really love how I can share this with everybody. So, I'm going to use you as an example. So, when you were born, there was this beautiful frequency, this beautiful tune that played a song for you. That was how you came into the world. And you think like guitar strings, this beautiful tuned guitar, you've got these strings. But as we go through life, things happen. We experience disappointment, we experience heartache, we experience neglect. And on the strings, you'll get knots and you get attachments and you get blocks. And what happens is your song doesn't play like it did when you were born. So you're going through life and you're like, why am I not in tune? Why am I not in tune with myself? Because all these things that happen. So what I love about what I do is I come in and I remove those knots and those attachments and the blocks off the string so you can start to play the tune and get into tune with who you were really born to be. And this is why I activate people to remember who the F they are. I don't know if you like swearing on a podcast.
We
Um,
don't mind. Swear
Okay, because
away.
I help people remember who the fuck they are, like who you came here to be. And so when we're looking at somebody, we're like, okay, you've gone through all these things, but looking at that quantum, there is so much going on in the quantum that we can't actually see that's going on even in the energy. So I love that I can come through and see all these things that are going on and just by little tweaks here and there just has profound instant stability and help somebody get back into the resonance and the energy and the frequency of who they were truly here to be. Like when I see someone say, when I see them have so much confidence, when I see them talking, when I see instantly that shift in them, when they say, I'm finally myself again. So yeah, bring you back to your resonance and to the frequency and who you were truly meant to be.
I love that description. That is really, really cool. Yeah, I love that description of it. So perfect, 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 perfect. Yeah, that calls to me a lot, the way that you've explained that. Um, yeah, cool. Okay,
And
cool. So
just what I love about this work, my love, is that you don't have to tell me anything about what goes on in your life. Like it all shows up through intuition and the process that I use. We're not continually having to keep opening up the past experiences and ripping open the wounds again and having to, repair them and wait for them to heal. Like this is about turning your wounds into scars so you can use the wisdom to go out and create the life that you want to create?
I did a different form of healing a long time ago, and it was like, get to the core wound, and then what's under that core wound, and then what's under that core wound, and then what started that, and then where did that come from? And I'm like, I don't freaking know. Like, you're bringing it all up to the surface. I know there's that whole thing about bring it to the surface so that you can feel it and you can heal it, but some things, like, I don't know. And there's a lot of people out there with huge, huge traumas. They don't want to relive that shit. They just want to move past it without reliving it. And that's why they don't go to therapy. And that's why they don't, do all these different things, is because they don't want to relive it.
And I experienced that, Meg. Like I've had like three decades of trauma. Like I've had four ice addictions. I was anorexic for 8 years. I was in a DV relationship, family violence at home. My husband was an alcoholic for 10 years. My mum died of lung cancer, and I looked after her on palliative care with my kids. The three of them were 5 and under. My husband had depression that year. My son nearly died. Like there has just been so much. And every time I go somewhere, they want to rip them open. And I'm like, I don't want to keep ripping these open anymore. I want to be able to help people turn them into scars. And that's why when I found this work, like my last drug addiction was only 5 years ago because I was searching for the thing that was going to help. And with this work here, it stabilized all those things in me that would where the emotion was triggering me to go out and need to like suppress the emotion. But what I've done now is I've stabilized the emotions, which means that I allow them to move through me without them destabilizing me. That's why I'm so passionate about this work.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. I love that. Um, Not loving that you had to go through all that, but there's the lessons that are there and all the cosmic stuff. So we don't need to get into that. So what was that spark or that turning point that led you to create this spiritually led business?
Creating the spiritually led business came from me denying who I really was for so long and being who I thought the world thought I should be, or who I was trying to impact and what they wanted me to be. And I really came from that space for a long time. I was in a network marketing business for many years and, working through those systems and not really being able to create a business outside of that at that time, it it really dimmed me for a long time. And I continued to keep trying to be myself. And I just really feel like crabs in a bucket. When I was around people, I'd grow and they'd pull me down, and I didn't have the strength to keep going. So this is where a lot of the work came in for me, where it was like you're either going to stand in the essence of who you are and teach other people to do the same, or just go and get a job. I remember I had that moment, go get a job or go really be who you are. Because if you're not going to stand into who you really are, then this is pointless. You're going to keep spinning your wheels. And so I had to have an honest conversation with myself. But that honest conversation came with, it's time to do the real work now. Not the work where it's like, this is comfortable and I'm getting shifts. It's like, if you're going to go down this path, I need you to back yourself 100%. If you're going to do this, you're going to do this, and you're not going to half-ass it. So yeah, it was that decision between, do you want to work for someone else, which is fine if that's for you. But I'm literally unemployable because I'm better working for myself. And so, yeah, I had to get really honest with myself and really stand into the essence of who I was and not pretend to be somebody else. I had to authentically be myself, and that scared me. That
Mm.
scared me, to be fully seen as who I was and being judged. And I had to do a lot of work around that as well. Like I would post stuff online, not bad stuff, but stuff that was different to the norm. And people would say stuff to me and I'd be like, it's okay. It's okay. It's just an opinion. And I had to really do the work that scared me. So then that way I could fully stand here with the tools and as the authentic woman helping other people navigate those things. So yeah, it was, you're either going to work for someone else or yourself. So make a decision and make it now. Stop wasting my time.
Yeah, wow, that's really cool. Yeah, see, that's what I do in like the Sacred Wealth Academy in my mastermind. I'm like, let's bring you to the forefront. Let's understand who you are and how you make money and what your unique thing is and what's the path of least resistance for you. And, like, fuck all this cookie cutter crap and this hustle. You got to hustle. Who wants it more? It's not a game of who wants it more. We all want it. We all want it. It's who is willing to do the work beyond just posting once a day. Like, who's willing to do that? And so in my mastermind, it's like, let's bring out your uniqueness, the parts of you that are so beautiful that you can put forward without that resistance. And then, like, shine and become magnetic and all the kind of things, because you're not trying to dim into somebody else's version of success. So yeah, that's my little plug for you have to do the dicky business stuff sometimes. So that's the dicky business stuff done. Okay, cool. So what principles or practices keep you aligned when things in business are feeling a bit uncertain and a bit unclear for you?
Yeah, I love this question because for a long time, I honestly was spinning my wheels for a long time because I thought I had to do it all myself. I was saying I've got to do it all myself. I'm in business for myself. It's me. I'm a one-man band. And that is furthest from the truth. And I understand that this is a programming for a lot of us. Growing up, our mums would always do it and not ask for help. And so was a program that I was running. I'm in business by myself. I need to do it for myself. But then I realized the power of having a team. And it doesn't mean a team that, you're paying people for, but it's about being around supportive women, empowering women and men to be able to tap into them when you're feeling like you're stuck, because doing it by yourself will only get you so far. But when you're surrounded by other people, when they pour into you and you pour into them, I think it's been really pivotal for me this year. I have surrounded myself with incredible women who are going places, but they're authentic. Like, I see when they have their rough time as well. And I'm like, oh, this is just part of the process. Like, it really is part of the process. And when we're doing it by ourselves, we're so hard on ourselves because we see everyone's highlight reel and we're like, I'm not doing good enough because, my life doesn't look like that. But you're only seeing the highlight reels. And so when you see behind the scenes, you see that we're all growing, we're all shifting, we're all changing. And it's very important to have a team that, yeah, you can connect into, because that has been such a game changer for me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel that. I really, really feel that. Um yeah, you need a team. That's really powerful. Really, really powerful. And
But don't forget your spirit guide team as well. They're there. They're
yeah, yeah,
always
exactly.
there.
Yeah. And so I had a thought. When you were speaking, I had oh yeah. The like this also comes from the witch wound, and it also comes from when we were in high school. There was a lot of bitchiness between girls in high school, as like, oh, don't talk too much about this person because she's gonna like, or don't talk to this person, she's gonna go and tell and there's so much gossip and just like being a hairdresser as well. We're just surrounded by women all the time, and there's that competition of who's the best hairdresser and who brings in the most amount of money and who sells the most amount of product. And like it's just, there's so much bitchiness. And now as adults, it's time that we all come together and do like these kind of collaborations and things like that, because I want you to be successful just as much as you want me to be successful, just as much as I want myself to be successful and you want yourself to be successful. And the other thing that came through as well is that doing it on your own and seeing all these reels and all these people that have like quote unquote made it, um, they're polished as well. And I feel like in my bones, I feel like the age of the polished entrepreneur are starting to be done. People are like, I don't think I want to be that. I don't think I want to have to watch every single word that comes out of my mouth. I don't want to have to, like, I want to be able to do a healing in a top knot and pajama pants. I don't want to always have to, I don't want to always have to be turned on, switched up, inauthentic, performing. And I'm going to just plug it again. That's what we do in the Sacred Wealth Academy. Anyway, so
You are a great, like a guide for that as well, my love. Like you are a great guide for showing up authentically, and everybody is getting to the point where they want people who have lived experience. They want people who are real people who care, who have that connection and the authenticity. Like that's what you're saying about people are now shifting and seeing what is important to them. And it's not this polished highlight reel.
yeah, I bought into a coach who was very polished. She said all the right things. She cried on command. And it like I bought into it. I really did. I paid her a lot of money. And then I got into her program and I was all so excited. And, she's going to help me so much because she's the vibe and I want to be the vibe. And it was so fake. And there was a couple of, I don't know, whenever I'm in a group coaching call and I feel the need to reach out to somebody else within the program to check to make sure that they're all right, that's a red flag because there's been programs where the coach has ripped somebody a new one, like ripped into them in front of everybody, and and they do it under the guise of, we're not hiding. If I'm going to call you out on your bullshit, I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. But it wasn't calling people out on their bullshit. It was ripping them a new one. And I had to reach out to multiple clients in there going, I hope you're all right. I'm like, that's polished. That is polished.
Mm.
And it's to the point where she's a good salesperson, but not good at delivering on the promise. So people are getting onto that now. Everybody in this industry has been burnt by someone like that. So now we're chasing the authenticity. Now we're chasing the realness and the rawness. So yeah, it's
And that's
good.
all the bro marketing. That's bro marketing where they figured out.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how you can kind of see that when, yeah, you see someone and then you get into the program and it's not aligned with how they were selling it to you. So yeah, that is starting to pass and people are really starting to connect in with their intuition more and connecting in with people.
Mm, yeah, cool, cool, cool. Okay, cool. So, what is one message you wish more people understood about the kind of work that you do?
The work that I do is I really truly believe that your programming is not your fault, but it's your responsibility to change it. And a lot of people don't realize they can change. And I say this from my lived experience. When you're around a family of enablers because they love you, my mum enabled my shitty behaviors because she loved me and she come from very traumatic upbringing. So I was like, well, this is just me and this is how I am. But it wasn't until I realized that I could change that my life started to change. I realized that I had control over my life and the things that are happening in my life. So I think it's really important that people understand that no, that may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility to heal it. It's your responsibility to change it because otherwise your life's just going to keep being as it is. And it's not about that judgment at yourself for the things that you did or didn't do. It's just about having that awareness that you can change no matter how old you are, where you are on your journey, but you can change. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. And I think that's really big when I speak with my clients because we're all shaming ourselves and judging ourselves and blaming ourselves for the way that we are and the things that have been going on. But it's like, that's okay. Like, that is what was. But let's create what is now and what it is that you do want and what we can change. Because I think that is just a huge part. And with the work that I do, I have clients coming in and, they've got a broken, string or something. How do you fix the string if you don't know the string's there as well? How do you shift and clean up everything if you actually don't know it's there and it needs that change, that cleaning up as well, or that fixing, or yeah, the clearing of the energy. So I find that those two things, because I do live in both. I live in the 3D and the 4D with my business. I'm very 3D, but I bring people over to the 4D.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's just get into that a little bit because I just feel like this needs a bit of a deeper conversation. So I'm just going to use myself as an example, and you've probably had a similar experience to this. There was time, as everybody knows, I suffered majorly with endometriosis, right? It was freaking all through me. My diaphragm, it's still on my pericardium, but we're managing that. But like literally all through me. And I was a part of a group healing thing. And yeah, so actually, no, it was a hypnotherapist that said this to me. And she goes, so you do realize that on some level, you created this, you created it. So now you have to uncreate it. And I was like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? I'm in agony. I mean, like, I feel like there is something stabbing into me. A hot axe was like, there was endometriosis on my diaphragm and it was wrapped around my rib cage and like stuck everywhere. And I was like, I literally feel like there's a hot axe shoved into my rib cage, and you're telling me just uncreate the energy. You created it, so uncreate it. And I was like, listen, fuck you. You can't just go around telling people that they caused their pain like that. That is irresponsible because people that are going through it, they're not going to be able to be at the capacity where they can take responsibility at it like that. And I'm like, no, I don't feel like I created the endometriosis, but I do feel like it was created to me, through me, for me, because of me. And now it's my responsibility to, yes, heal and do all the different things around it. But I didn't create it in the way that they meant it. Like maybe there was a soul contract at some point, but yeah, it's like you didn't create those things in the sense what they're describing it. Do you
Yeah,
agree
correct.
with that
Yeah,
too?
correct. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like the
hey,
blame
hun,
game.
like something has happened in your life that has created this in your body, and this is how it's manifested in your body. I find a lot of people think they're being direct when they're just being assholes. Like, and this is where I've really, yeah, this is where I've really fine-tuned what I've done. I'm like, I have ADHD. Undiagnosed. I have ADHD and I grew up in a home that was very toxic and I had to learn how to read the signals, become hyper vigilant, people pleaser. Like, so I understand that when people are coming to me, some of them have already gone through so much pain in their life. They're not coming to me for more pain. They're not coming to me for truth. They already know. They're looking for someone to hold them, to see them, to love them, to feel safe, safe to open up with what's going on. So then that way they can start the process of healing. You can't heal when no one's listening to you, when people are blaming you. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, even if it's your fault, even if it's your fault. You just want someone to hold you, to see you, to love you as you are, so you can start to love yourself. That's why I'm a belief activation mentor. I believe in people until they believe in themselves. Because of
Mm,
my mum's belief in me, until I believed in myself, like that's what I realize people need, because you need someone to love you and to hold you so you can like really look at yourself because that's not easy. It's not easy to go, I hurt this person, I did this, I did that. Yes, let's understand that you're programming. Let's understand that you were scared. I've been in fight mode my whole life. I
Mm.
actually apologized to my sister just the other day. I'm 41, she's 42. And I actually sent her a message and I said, thank you for trying to protect me our whole life, where I thought you were attacking me because I
Mm.
was in fight mode my whole life. I understand from that lived experience what people are going through, why they've created the beliefs, the behaviors, the protections that they have. So I am this space where I will hold you in your fullness. There is no judgment, none at all. I'm here to hold you and love you and to help rise you to your next level, whatever that is. It can be in business and in life, but we really just want people to see us and love us and hold us and accept us as we are so we can accept ourselves.
Yeah, I feel like that's really important too, because it just felt like that broke rapport with me instantly. And then like the session after that, I couldn't be all in it because she'd already shamed me about me creating my own pain. Like, yeah, it was like, you know, there is such a thing as toxic positivity, and there are toxic therapists out there that mean well, but they're being taught wrong. So anyone who's watching this, like, pay attention to the way that you talk to your clients, because if they're already super vulnerable and then you go, well, you created it, like, I don't know. To me, we just need to be aware of what our clients need from us, not necessarily what we know to be true, and what's true for them. What do they need to hear in order for their healing to take place? You're not lying to them or anything like that. You're supporting them in the way that they need support. Maybe heal me first, and then we can have that conversation if it turns into that. But do you know what I mean? Like, just be delicate as well. Sorry, this has just turned
Can
into
I also, can I also add in that there's too many coaches with too much ego and they will not refer the client on. So if you have a client and you can't give them what they need, sometimes they're trying to go outside the scope of what they're an expert at. And that is more damaging than actually going, I can't help this person. I actually need to refer them on. So, I would recommend that if there's somebody that, is outside your scope and your expert, your field, refer them on to somebody else that you know that can hold and nurture them because it's not about us, it's about them.
well, that's the duty of care, right?
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, like coaches and healers and all that kind of stuff, we have a duty of care, even though it's not written in the bylaws. Like, we do have a duty of care. And what I've come to know is that God rewards those who help his other children. That's my biggest thing. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million times more. God is going to reward you through joy, through finances, through more clients, through opportunities, whatever it is, if you can help his other children. Okay. And if your ego is getting in the way of you helping them, truly helping them, then you're not going to be rewarded for that. Do you know what I mean? So that's when you say, okay, look, I would love to help you. I just don't feel like I'm the right person for you. But this is also where our messaging and our marketing and our positioning and all that kind of stuff, we only need to attract those who we can help. And if you're doing that part right, then you're not going to get many people that are like, oh, can you help me with this? And you're going to say, no, I can't, because your messaging and all of that kind of stuff is doing all the work for you. So you don't have to attract people that you know you can't help. So, yeah, anyway, that was good. We needed to just call out the industry a little bit. So, back on
With
track.
love,
Let's
calling
realign.
them up with love.
Okay, cool. So, if the world could fully embody one truth that you've learned on your path, what would that be?
Whenever life knocks you down, you got to get back up one more time. You just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. This is what I've lived by my whole life. That when life knocked me down, I had to find a way to get back up because the days kept going on. Life kept happening, and I had to find a way to show up. And I didn't have to think about the end goal. When life knocked me down, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to fill up my cup so I can get back up again? And this has been the thing that has got me through like my ice addictions. It got me out of anorexia, like all these things that I've done. I never sought any professional help. I recovered myself from my anorexia. I recovered myself from my four ice addictions by myself. I recovered myself from my DV relationship and my mum's grief. And I did this all by honoring where I was and being like, okay, I'm in the trench. Just take a little bit of time, but don't stay in there for long. You got to find ways to get out. And I always just said to myself, you don't need to see the final staircase. You just need to take the next step. So all I needed to do was just take one more step, like get back up one more time. I didn't have to worry about what was going to happen after that. I just had to say to myself, you just need to find a way to get up, because what happens is when you continue to keep having negative thoughts, you're never going to find a solution. But if you keep saying, I just need to get back up one more time, what is it I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And the answers will come to you because you're open for it. So that is my one thing that I have lived by, is you just need to get back up one more time when life knocks you down. But what happens is when you get back up, you learn more tools, you learn more about yourself. So now at 41, it's very hard for life to knock me down because I now have a toolkit of all the tools that I now access. And so you don't do the work when you're in the thick of it, you do the work. So when life comes to teach you a lesson, you may just get wobbly instead of it knocking you down. So that's what I've lived my life by.
Yeah, cool. I just want to, like, for all those who are listening, Renee did it herself. That takes a lot of courage, a lot of guts, a lot of tenacity, a lot, right? And also, there's no shame in getting the help, right? Like, if help is available to you, please use it. Because I feel like I'm not really reading you, Renee, because we're here doing a podcast, not a reading. But it's like the resources that are available now to people now are so different to what they were when you went through it. And so there wasn't so much help available, especially like now there's so many hotlines and things like that that are completely free now. So like it's probably a completely different scenario than what it was even 5 years ago, which isn't really that long. But things are like, I don't know, there's so much more available to people now.
Yeah, 100%. There wasn't much you could access back in the day. And a lot of things weren't spoken about. You know what I
Taboo.
mean? We couldn't speak up about a lot of things and what was happening. And there are a lot of services and that everybody can connect in with these days. And I think that's super important for the team. You know, even in our business, but in our life, we do need a team of people. So if that is a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor or, a Reiki therapist, it's what you need for you to be able to get back up one more time. And so when you think about that, what is it that you need? Who do you need to talk to? And if I could give a little bit of advice when you're going to speak to a psychologist or counselor for the first time, go in just a little bit. Go in there, get a feel for them. Do you like their energy? Do you like the way they talk to you? Because what happens is I did this a lot of times. I went in, I ripped everything open, but then they weren't the person for me. And so it's like go in there, like dipping your toe in just to see if you align with them first. So then that way you know that you're on the right path with that person.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. I went to a psychologist. She wasn't a psychologist, she was a counselor. She was a counselor. And I just knew as soon as I seen her, I just knew. Um, I just knew. So when we were in the session, she was like, okay, tell me about yourself and whatever. And I'm like, I'm really here because I'm friggin' struggling mentally because I'm of the chronic pain, right? I'm really, really struggling to grow my business and run my house. And I'm in this pain and just like, and she goes, yeah, she had a limp. She had a walking stick and a limp, and she was quite young. And I knew what was going to happen then. She goes, yeah, I understand chronic pain. And then spoke an hour about her chronic pain. And it's like, who's here for who, mate? I'm like, that's the empath in me. People just want to open up. And it was like, she was telling me about her pain to be like, see, I understand pain. And I'm like, I couldn't go back. I was like, I can't sit here for an hour hear about her pain. We're here to talk about me. So that's really, really good advice. Really, I should have like got up and walked off, but I felt like she needed me more than I needed in that moment. So I stayed. But yeah, it's like just because they're a counselor or because they're like a professional doesn't mean that they're going to be the one that helps you. Like maybe they're just there to show you that there's a right person for you and that potential.
I say this because I went and seen a psychologist, and there are so many good ones out there. But he actually said to me that because I was taking drugs, that I was the reason the bikies were prostituting women and trafficking women. And I was so much more traumatized because I was already going through a really traumatized time in my life. And I was like, yeah, so this is where that comes from. Like, just go in slow. And I also hear my clients say the same thing, that they go in and they're not the right person, but now they've been opened up. And yeah, just it's like a date. You're going to date them first and see if you like their energy and if you like their style and how they do communicate with you. I think that's really important, just to look at it like a date before you go all in.
Yeah. And I think like it's good that we've had those experiences because now we know what not to do. It's like, I'm never going to do that from one of my clients. I'm never going to make them feel like that. I'm never going to make them like wish that they could get up and walk away from a session with me. I'm honoring them and myself throughout this entire process. So sometimes it's good for us to have those experiences so we know what not to do and we know what the kind of mentor or coach or healer or whatever it is that you do, that's the listener, whatever the listener does, you go in there with as much ethics as you possibly can, because all these books and stuff that I'm reading about wealth and all that kind of stuff, it's like ethical service is the forefront, not just service, ethical service. Having that, I'm going to give this person as much as I possibly can in alignment with my truth and my higher self that I can, not ego. Ego cannot exist in a session, just can't.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, cool. So this has turned into a podcast of what not to do for your clients, and we're here to talk about Renee. So we've heard a lot about you, Renee. You've really explained things really well and getting a lot clearer on what you do, and how to actually message that and put that out there. So that's fantastic. I'm so happy.
Thank you for your help and support.
You're welcome. Okay, cool. So if anyone is listening to this podcast or watching us on the YouTube, God, that's like I'm channeling my mother-in-law here on the YouTube, and wants to reach out to work with you, what is the best way that they can get in contact with you?
So I've made it super easy for people to find me. So my handle on all my social media is I'm Renee Davis. So IMRENEEDAVIS. That's how you find me. Super easy.
Super easy. See, the easier the better. The easier the better. There's like so many, we'll just get into like a little bit of the businessy side of things here. There's so many people that I've wanted to work with, like they've put a post out and it's really cool to me, and I'm like, yes, I need a session with this person. And then you go into their bio or whatever, and it's like, click here to apply to work with me for a single session. I'm like, can't I just book the session? Like, just let me book it, you know. Don't make things difficult for your clients. don't make it difficult, because in making it difficult, you can basically say goodbye to the sale. Like, that's why, you know, having PayPal, having the credit cards, having access to just direct deposit even into the bank account. Because like sometimes when you're sitting on the lounge and you're scrolling through Facebook and you're like, oh, I feel like I need to buy that. And then you go to buy it and they go, only a credit card. And you're like, oh, my credit card is like in my handbag, which is in my car, which is in the garage, which is so far away. You know what? I'm just not going to buy that thing there. So yeah, the easier you can make it for your clients, the absolute best. You will make money just by making it easy.
And there's also a link on there where people can book in for a free connection call. So this is a free assessment where we go through, we have a look at what's going on for you, and then make a plan from there, what works for the client.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. All right. So very, very good. Renee's link is also going to be in the description of this podcast and YouTube clip. So you won't have to look very far. You won't even need to type her handle link, because you can just press the link below here. Okay, so thank you everybody for listening. I hope you've learned some really, really nice, cool stuff here today. And I hope you've been activated. I hope you understand yourself a little bit better, perhaps, and know that you are not alone. Renee and I are here. We're wanting to help. We're willing to help. And lots of love to you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.